Vegetarianism is growing in popularity, and for many good reasons. So, if you're a woman planning a pregnancy or you're currently pregnant, the question is staying on a vegetarian diet a sensible thing to do? Well, I'll tell you the answer in today's video. Stay tuned. If you follow a vegetarian way of eating and are either pregnant or planning a pregnancy, then you may be wondering if cutting out meat and other animal foods at this time is a good idea. The great news is that the answer is a clear yes for staying vegetarian when you're pregnant. A vegetarian diet is a super healthy way to eat, and just like any way of eating, so long as you pay attention to eating a varied diet where you'll still get your protein, vitamins, minerals and other nutrients, then you'll be fine. That's easily done with plenty of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes and nuts. But there's no need to take my word for it. Looking at the scientific research that explored pregnancy outcomes in women who are vegetarian or vegan, a 2015 review of 22 studies found no increase in major birth defects or other serious problems in either the babies or the mothers. Although they did note that vegan and vegetarian women were at higher risk of vitamin B12 and iron deficiencies. So we'll talk more about these nutrients in a minute. Further endorsement for a vegetarian diet during pregnancy comes from a position paper from the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. They go on to state that plant-based diets are healthy and nutritionally adequate for pregnant women. But they also flag that iron and vitamin B12 are two nutrients that need to be watched out for. And there could just even be an upside to not eating meat during pregnancy. A 2010 study that tracked the diets and health of 379 pregnant women found a vegetarian diet in the first trimester was linked to a lower risk of excessive gestational weight gain. So now let's explore a few of the key nutrients that you do need to keep an eye out for if you're a vegetarian mum-to-be. First off, there's iron. Iron is a super important nutrient that you need to be aware of because of its important role during pregnancy. During pregnancy, there's an even greater demand on the body to produce more blood to deliver nutrients through to your placenta. And of course, iron is a key mineral that's part of the oxygen transporting red blood cells. Now, iron deficiency anemia is not uncommon during pregnancy for anyone, whether you're a vegetarian or a meat eater. So it's something that all women need to be conscious of. Even though red meat is a top source of iron, following a vegetarian diet doesn't mean that your iron intake has to be compromised, but you do need to make sure that you look for plenty of good sources of iron. Now, this includes things like legumes like beans, chickpeas and lentils, dark green leafy veggies, dried fruits, nuts, fortified soy milks, breakfast cereals and whole grains. Vitamin C helps with the absorption of iron from plant foods, so it's a great idea to either have a really small glass of orange juice with your meal or maybe cut up some citrus fruits or vitamin C rich veggies like potato and capsicum. It's also a really good idea to limit how much tea and coffee you drink with meals, as these can affect your body's ability to absorb iron too. However, if you are struggling with low iron levels, you might need to review your pregnancy supplements and swap to one with some added iron. Then we have the B group vitamins, including vitamin B12 and folic acid, that are also critical in pregnancy. Being deficient in either of these vitamins has been shown to further increase the risk of having a baby with neural tube defects, such as spina bifida. Vitamin B12 is also important for healthy red blood cells, as well as the maintenance of the nervous system. Vitamin B12 is mostly found in animal foods, as plant foods are a very poor source of it. But you will find it in fortified tofu, soy milk, and some cereals, so look really carefully on the labels. And if you're following a vegan diet, you'll probably need B12 supplements or injections during pregnancy. Folic acid helps to prevent neural tube defects in the spine and brain, which occur in the first few months of pregnancy, which is why taking a folic acid supplement is so important when planning a pregnancy, as well as ensuring that you're eating lots of folate-rich foods like green leafy veggies and legumes, which I'm sure that you will be. Although you can get some ALA omega-3 from plant foods like chia or flax seeds, most long-chain DHA and EPA, which is docosahexaenoic acid and eicosapentaenoic acid, which are used in your baby's brain development, come from animal foods, which of course the best source is fish. The reason that these fish are so high in these types of omega-3 is that their diet is rich in algae, which produce them. So you can go straight to the source and purchase some algal omega-3 supplements that will help to optimize your baby's brain development. Finally, there's calcium, which is vital for the development of your baby's bones, teeth, and cells. So ensuring that your diet is high in this nutrient is crucial. Now, I'm sure that you already know that dairy products are excellent high calcium foods, but if you've chosen not to include these, then vegetarian options are equally good. Tofu that's been set with calcium, almonds, sesame seeds, tahini, dried fruit, as well as calcium fortified plant milks are all great sources of calcium, but just make sure that you're getting enough. Now, I'd like you to let me know in the chat box which nutrient are you most concerned about getting enough of during your pregnancy? And what are you going to do to make sure that you meet your quota? So let's summarize. There are many health benefits linked to a vegetarian way of eating, and the good news is that pregnant women can happily continue to eat this way. But with some attention to proper planning, a vegetarian diet can meet all of your nutrient needs for a healthy pregnancy. If you follow a vegetarian diet, nutrients of special concern for you include iron, vitamin B12 and omega-3, and calcium too if you don't eat dairy. So look for alternative sources and keep an eye on your blood levels. Now, if you're pregnant, I hope that you'll take the time to check out some of my other videos and hit subscribe so that you receive any weekly videos to help you keep on track with eating well during your pregnancy. And remember to let me know in the chat box what you're going to do to meet all of your nutrient requirements during pregnancy. See you next week. Window. Action. The question is staying a veg... Looking at these, iron is super important nutrient, is A. That's part of the oxygen transporting. Then we have the folic acid helps to prevent